Welcome to Business Banking and Beyond. As they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Today, we are not just celebrating an incredible guest, but also a milestone. This is our 21st episode and the finale of season 1. And what better way to wrap it up with someone who has built one of the most powerful women community in the UAE. Meet Reema Mahajan, a woman who swapped boardrooms for building dreams. With an IIT and IM pedigree, she once advised Fortune 500 companies, but destiny had a bigger plans. She walked away from the corporate world to start Indian Women in Dubai IWD, a thriving network of over 150,000 women who uplift each other in career, business, and life. What began as a coffee meetup, virtual chats has grown into a movement of women. Reema's journey is proof that when women came together, magic happens. She's been recognized among Asia's 100 women power leaders, met global figures like Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and created platforms like Wow with Reema, a podcast with over 1 million views. If you have ever thought about launching a networking or social business in the UAE, this episode is a blueprint for that. So do watch it and let's get started with Reema Mahajan. So Reema is here with us today. Thank you so much, Reema, first of all, joining us here. I know your biggest network community in UAE, the buzz around the city, all the women from India, even not from India, but from different cultures, but India, everybody knows IWD. And today you are here and we'll be discussing a lot of things related to networking business in UAE. I know you don't call that or you don't just that as in business, but that is what our motto is, to understand today that how women can really create big businesses. I'm always fascinated by women entrepreneurs because Dhangad itself is led by our woman CEO Jyoti. So looking forward, and thank you so much first of all for coming here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and absolutely an honor. And I'm looking forward to our discussion.
So before we dive into the networking business and understanding it, I really want to know your journey from India to outside international markets and how did you move to UAE?
Sure. I started, I am a graduate from IIT Delhi. I did chemical engineering. And very soon I realized chemical engineering is not for me, or I'm not for it. So then I decided to go the IIM route. So I'm an MBA from IIM Bangalore. When I passed out of IIM Bangalore, I joined a consulting firm called Bain & Company, got married, moved to London. We were in London for about 10 years before we moved to Dubai. And I moved to Dubai just in time for COVID, as I say. We got here, we literally got settled in the first year and then COVID happened. Now, COVID changed a lot of lives. It changed mine too. And during COVID, before COVID, we started, when I moved to Dubai, I wanted to make friends. I'm a social person. I like to go out. I like to have my friends. But it was just a side, your passion. It's a side thing. It's a social thing. But during COVID, when I could feel the stress in the system, women were emotionally stressed, financially stressed, physically stressed, and did not have out of it. They needed a support network. And I think that is when the true sense of IWD was born. During COVID, for 5 months back to back, I would do free Zoom sessions every day at 4 o'clock. Because ghar se kaam kar rahe the, we had time, right? In a corporate job, you don't find the time to do such things and follow your passions. Working from home gave me that time to, and every day at 4 o'clock, I'd organize a free Zumba session, a free meditation session, sometimes a Bollywood and Takri session, anything which will relieve the stress in the system, and women will come together every day at 4 o'clock to join our sessions. And anybody who would give me a free session, I'll say do it for my girls. Because of that work during the 5 months of COVID, we grew from a handful of members to 30,000.
30,000?
30,000. I can give you talk business, right? This is an example of word of mouth marketing. Women coming to the community, liking how we did the things, and just asking their friends and family to join, right? There was $0 spent here. It was pretty much the strongest form of marketing where women will come and add their friends, and their friends will join our next session. And then the real IWD was born, where people will start talking on the Facebook community. So we brought together a community being run by the women and for the women, right? And when it hit 30,000, I think I took a break from my corporate job, and I went and told my job that, I think I've built something beautiful. I'm going to try and find a career out of it, because 4 years, 5 years ago, social media influencers, and it's not a thriving career. You can't think of it. And everybody likes that fat salary check, which you don't want to miss, right? So I said, I'll spend 3 months trying to build something out of this. If I see a longer term career out of it, I'll continue. Otherwise, please take me back after 3 months. So I took a sabbatical from work and I worked 24/7 on that idea. Started building a team officially, because usse pehle sab unofficial tha. There was no structure, there was no thought behind it. And I have never looked back. I basically have been building IWD now for 4 years. Today, we are a network of 150,000 ladies across different platforms. We launched not only Facebook, then we expanded to Instagram over time. Now we are on TikTok, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. You name it, you'll find a version of IWD there. And the team has grown from just me and my co-admin to like 9 girls officially running digital marketing for IWD in the background, and a large army of volunteers and women who come and support us on every initiative that we launch.
Well, that is really fascinating how you built up in such a short time a member 30,000, and today it stands around 150,000. It's a huge number, and I cannot even imagine how you would have done. We'll definitely uncover that in this podcast. But before that, I want to know, when you talk about networking business, I mean, there is marketing, there are different types of marketing. One of them, which you mentioned as word of mouth, which we all are forgetting because we just want to run ads.
Yeah.
And there has been guests on the same podcast which are from marketing industry, which would always talk about that why ads are not the right way and not as the exact way to grow your company. But still, for founders and company, because it's the most easiest way nowadays to bring business, for every company they would try on the ads. But you, on the contrary, focused on word of mouth, which is an aspect of marketing. We'll come to that. But when we speak about networking, the whole essence is also about word of mouth. So when you were starting, you were a COVID baby as well. Like many of us, even Dangad was born in COVID. What was your first vision and mission to start IWD?
My mission was to give women a safe platform to come together, to support each other, to network, to grow together. We have a social mission today of connecting people, making friends, celebrating Indian events together. We celebrate Diwalis and Christmas and Holi with the same enthusiasm. But we also have a business mission today, which is empowering women-led businesses. So we have so many, I mean, on the platform, we have more than 5,000 women entrepreneurs who come and market every week, right? I wanted to give them a platform where women can feel confident. They can start their own businesses and use the platform and the network to grow and find customers on the community, right? And that is what IWD is today, right? We not only are a social platform where women come and talk to each other, we are a platform where women find the right information. So Gulf News covered us, and they called us the Google for Indian women in Dubai, which basically means ask us a question, fire away a doubt in the platform. The women from the community will come forward to answer questions with recommendations which have been tried and tested by the members of the community. So again, we rely a lot more on authenticity, on real people recommending real people, real things basically, right?
Can you shed more light on the same thing which you're mentioning about? You created a platform which was covered by Gulf News as a Google for Dubai. How does that work? How people are posting queries, or women are posting queries, how you are able to answer that, and how do you call that as a platform?
So just join our Facebook group or join one of our WhatsApp groups. So Facebook has a population of nearly 70,000 ladies talking to each other every day. We have been mentored by Meta itself. So we were Facebook Accelerator Community 2022, where I visited the Meta offices. They had a stream of mentors telling us how to grow a community constructively. So Meta manages our community with admin assistant, a lot of other tools basically, to making sure the quality is never compromised.
Okay.
Right. And then on the back of Facebook groups, we also run 10 different WhatsApp groups, little communities where women feel more safe. So these are smaller groups of 500 women on one group, basically, but talking to each other every day, asking questions, sharing recommendations, and whatever is a part of their journey. So we give people that free platform for women to come together and just talk to each other. And that's how the whole community comes into place.
When you talk about Google, there can be multiple searches. I'm going to stick to that point. There can be multiple searches or queries which come to you in that group. Is there any query which you would like to discuss which really changed, or which was really learning for, or an answer for the person who posted that query in that way?
So we approve more than, I think, about 2,000 posts a day. There is a day. There is a full team of 15 volunteers who sits on as the moderators of the community who are doing this in the background.
And who are these 50?
These are all my ladies from IWD who believe in the cause of women, supporting women and building that quality platform. And it's difficult to pick one out of those 2,000, but every question is posted by the women, and then women from the community come forward and reply to those messages. So it's again a platform run by the women, for the women, totally by the women. Yeah.
But this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How you have...
That's why they called Google for Indian Women Dubai, right? We have questions right from one of the personas who actually comes to our group is people moving to Dubai. Where do I move in Dubai? Where should I live? Which school should my kids go to? Which doctor can I go to?
Yeah.
All of that gets answered on the community. And women will share their experiences. Go to this gynae. She was really good in my treatment. This gynae, this in this area, this pediatrician is really well. I have been to this school. Why not? Tried. My kids go to. So we have people asking for school reviews on the community, doctor reviews on the community, area reviews on the community. Should I go and live in JBR? Should I go and live in this area or not? And the questions get asked, and the answers come from everyone in the community.
So basically, it's really true. Thankfully, I asked the right question. The idea is how you work as Google. It's truly Google because you are really covering everything related to women and what you want to do in UAE.
Yeah.
And my next question, and a very important thing, originating from this, not part of my normal thing. If I were to create a process level for this community running, which you are saying about Facebook, what are the 3 pillars or 4 pillars? Like you mentioned, one of them is moderator. One is posting a query. So if any woman is posting query on that platform, what is the first thing? What is the second thing? And how it is taken forward? Can you give me point by point?
I think you need to go one step ahead of before moderators. What is your vision for the community?
Okay.
I wanted to build a platform where women can come together socially initially and now for business, right? And I was very clear on them that women supporting women is going to be the mantra of the community. Whatever community you're trying to build, whether it's a tech community, it's a community focused on aviation, are you clear on what are you trying to build and what is the purpose of that community, right? So be clear on the vision and the purpose. Then comes the persona of people, right? Who are the right customers, clients, members of the community, whatever you want to call it. We call it members because our community is built with that. But some of this could become a customer group also, right? Who are these members who are going to come? Yeah. So, and what is the reason they would join? Everybody is very busy these days, right? Nobody has time for things. So why are they coming to your community? What makes them come? So then it becomes, what is the value you're offering to them? We give them that free platform to talk to each other and find new friends. We also run like-minded interest groups. So, we run a book club for ladies interested in books. We run a food club for ladies interested in food. We run a fitness club for those interested in fitness. Now, not everybody is interested in all 3, but you might be interested in one of the 3. Do we offer enough value for them to be spending time on the platform? So as long as your purpose, people and your way of giving back to the planet are clear. I call it the 3 Ps if you want to simplify it, right? You can build a very good community.
Okay. So I'll again summary up things, and first I would like you to give me those pointers for us to summary up all the things. If I'm creating a community, you're saying that you have to define your niche. First of all, not the niche of the women's.
Yes.
That I'll come to that point later. But it is about what is the vision for the people who are coming to the community, and what is your vision about the community.
Yeah, vision and value if you want to say it. Yeah.
Then you create separate groups related to that.
Yes.
And then how do you create volunteers? And then how do you create moderators? And how do you assign the responsibilities? Can you shed more light on that as well?
You have to identify the people who are most passionate about the cause and are like-minded with you, who will understand. Every community needs to run by rules. We have our own rules. We do not approve any religious post. We do not approve any political post. I don't want those discussions on a women community. You have to set the rules of the community, and then you have to find a team which believes in those rules and agrees with those rules. That's when your volunteers come into place, your moderator team comes into place. Over the time, we've tried and tested and found people who again believe in these rules and the values of the community. That becomes your people aspect of the moderators.
Okay. So First of all, you have to define the rules. I would say that in a normal terms, when we say about company also, you have to establish your law. When we speak about country, we say it's constitution.
Yes.
When it comes to networking, building a community, the first thing you have to keep in mind, first is vision. According to that vision, you create a rule book.
Yes.
Okay. After that, you find the passionate people for that particular cause.
Yeah.
Then you choose moderators. Is it the same or is it different in terms of choosing the moderator? And how do you get moderators chosen? Is it a process?
It's the most active members of the community. For a community, it has to be the most active people who derive value from it or can add value to it. Those are the people who would be most interested in spending time on your community or your purpose, basically.
Okay. So then you decide moderators depending upon the active members and passion aligning with it.
Yes.
Is there any other pillar in terms of answering the queries or maintaining the community?
Then we don't do it, but you can incentivize members to answer the community, right? At IWD, the incentive is we do a lot of social recognition. We do a lot of events where these members can come and get recognized. We do a feature called IWD Awards. We've done 4 seasons of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And IWD Awards is basically an initiative to recognize the top 30 achievers of the community. Again, the recognition plays so recognition plays an important role. We recognize all the volunteers and the moderators in that event too. They get recognized, they go on the stage.
IWD Awards.
Yes.
Okay. So is there anything other than IWD Awards which you are doing for the recognition? Because I think, as you mentioned, it's season by season you have done.
Yeah.
So is there anything else which you are doing for the recognition part?
So not only awards is like once a year, big red carpet 5-star event, but I think we do that every month. Literally, we do a lot of events every week, social events and business events, and we find opportunities to give these members more. Sometimes all they need is more responsibilities. So some of our members will just run the event by themselves, and I think they become more integral parts of the team over time in terms of driving where we are going. So the ladies who lead our fitness club can pretty much decide we're going to meet on this date, we'll do a fitness exercise. So we give them also the authority when we feel they are aligned to
decision-making powers.
Yes.
Got it. Now moving on to a very important thing. Even if it's a normal company or any business, we have certain core values, which sometimes dilutes after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, depending on the company's management. But when it comes to networking, personally, I have seen most of the networking groups or networking business deviate very soon from their core values. And their core values are not defined in a longer term as well. Some of the networking businesses, or most of it, I would say, I would not name it, are defined by the lead generation model, that you make people meet in that community and they exchange leads. So it's a very profit driven model and very business minded model completely, but has done wonders and people like that model as well. What are the core values for IWD? Is it the same? Or if not, what exactly is that? Is it just meeting around together in different time zones or time frames, or really getting business out of it? And if yes, how?
So we are not a business community, right? And we are more of a social community, right? The business is the Indian Women Network, which is a smaller group and a new baby for us. The social group, the core value is women supporting women. Supporting them in every social area that they need help with. Like I said, doctors, schools, clinics, whatever you need, right? Food, fitness, books, whatever. For the business community, the mission is working on your money, marketing, and mindset. Because I feel I work with women entrepreneurs a lot. The issue with women, especially starting second businesses, is, and we target the second businesses, they're starting their careers the second time. And a lot of the things is women here are trailing spouses in the UAE, right? They move here because the husband finds a job. And I'm one of them, to be honest. My husband found a job or wanted to set up a company here, and I moved here with my family. My husband went to work. My kids went to school. What does the woman of the family do? Right? So then they start looking for opportunities to get out of the house. They want to start a small business of their own. We provide that support network for these women entrepreneurs to come to us. And we work with on masterclasses with coaches on providing them, training in mindset. You need a winning mindset. Marketing. You need to learn how to do social media in this age, right? So that is where the core values for the women network comes into place.
And then you have a separate baby, which is IWD network, which is Completely. So how does that work?
Business community I just told you about, basically. So that is where we could do master classes on money, marketing, and mindset.
So what is IWD Network, business network?
So Indian Women Network is a very new baby, and it is our initiative to unite the Indian women entrepreneurs in the community together. We have nearly 200 members on that network today. And what we do is work with coaches from the industry to build you on money, marketing, and mindset. Because all these 3 M's are very important for any business to be successful. You need to learn marketing in this today's age of social media. You need to have a winning mindset. You need to cross all your questions in your mind, and you need to know how to manage your money if you're going to become an entrepreneur. So we teach them all those 3 aspects as a part of becoming a part of the network.
So if I have to be very clear, IWD is a social community one. Then there is a IWD network, which is a business community, and you have different values for driving both of them. So you're not mixing up. But do you have some plans in terms of lead generation, typical lead generation community as well?
No, not yet.
What's the reason?
I
I really want to know that.
I feel there are enough lead generation business communities in UAE, and I don't want to focus on that area. When we meet women in the network, we also do networking, or we tell them to know each other's business very well, so that you can become ambassadors of your business. And word of mouth marketing, like we talked about, that's the best form of marketing, where people talk about you when you're not in the room. Right? We encourage that at our business network.
You focus relations, not leads.
Yes. I think for me, relations are more important. That's how I've grown my social community, and that's how I want to grow my business community.
Now I'll put you in a difficult position, because this question is very important.
Okay.
I was listening years ago from Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He was mentioning for a country, it's very difficult to maintain its citizen. And he was giving this perspective because he was mentioning, as a founder of such a huge company, sometimes it's very difficult for Jack Ma to remove and add people. And he can still do that because he's a company.
Right.
So he can issue a termination or an offer letter to anybody. But for a company to have, for a country to have citizens, they cannot remove his passport.
Yeah.
The maximum is they can punish him for some or the other reason. When it comes to networking, you added a member. How do you maintain someone's inclusivity or exclusivity? How do you maintain that this person should be joining and this should not be joining? Because this is a subjective thing.
It's subjective, but remember we talked about rules in the beginning. And I think when people join the social community, they actually sign, I agree to follow the rules of the community. And the rules are very simple. No political discussions, no religious discussions. We will, respect the timelines of posting on the community. I don't want posts at 4 o'clock in the morning or simple things, right? Or so people sign up to those roles. Now, having said that, we do find spam profiles, fake profiles, not good, very friendly profiles. We're very quick at removing them. And I think that's where your core team comes into play. That's where the moderators and my admin team comes into play. When we agree this person is not a positive influence on the community, we remove them.
So you take that decision.
We take that decision, and we are very honest about it, and we will remove you.
So you don't drag that things, but you're
I'm very quick at decision making in that sense. I think I believe in, hiring and firing fast, basically, right? So I would fire you faster if I believe it's not a positive influence on my community.
So Reema, one more thing which is very important for anybody to work on a networking business and really make it thrive like you have done it. A lot of communities are there. Many, I cannot even count it. But when we go to any networking event, people are just again on the same thing, looking for lead generations and a direct profit, short-term gains. How do you encourage people to create deeper connections in your networking community? What are the strategies you use for that?
Lead generation can be very short term. That's a very mean give and take relationship for me, basically, right? We believe in building relationships through trust and authenticity. Now, you call me here and I represent IWD because everybody knows me publicly. I've spoken about it. I believe in building relationships. I've built the community over time. That's all trust and authenticity that you place in Reema and then IWD, the brand. And that's how we grow. Right. And that's the same for all businesses. The founder, the personal branding of the business becomes very important here. Are you looking, you have 100 travel agents. Which one do you work with? You work with the person who you have the trust and authenticity that person will deliver the ticket on time and I will be able to take the airplane. right? And then sometimes they might just charge you 20 dirhams extra, but you're like, I will pay for your service because I have trust and authenticity in your business. And when your friend asks you for a recommendation कि यार ticket book करना है कहाँ से करूँ, you will say book from my agent, मैं number भेजता हूँ. It's the growing a business short term. You can go for referrals, lead generation, and a give and take relationship. But building a business over the years, most of the startups fail up after the fifth year. You know that, right? Not many startups are able. The ones who are able to survive are the ones who've built a personal brand of the startup itself with their values and build that trust and authenticity in the market that they are providing the product or the service they are promising. And that's what you need to go for.
Well, that's the essence of business, I think, because at the end of the day, networking, the way you are running it, is somewhere business aspect as well, or I would say completely as well, other than the community aspect. But when my question would be more on a deeper level, a lot of women and many other founders want to have deeper connections. When they come to your networking community, they're introverts. I had this podcast where we discuss introvert, extrovert. People don't often so open so easily. They don't socialize so easily, but networking is all about that.
Yes.
So how do you use strategies? How do you work around that to really make engagement in your community?
Can I tell you a fact? I think I'm the biggest introvert I know. So there you go. Nobody will believe that, right? Talking to me, you will not believe. But I also believe in IWD, the cause that I stand for. And I believe that you are your best brand ambassador and that you need to tell your story to the world. And that's what I teach my entrepreneurs in my community, that nobody can talk about your brand better than you can do. You can interview 50,000 ladies from IWD, but they cannot talk about it in the way I believe in my brand. It's the same for every women entrepreneur. And that's what I teach them, that no matter how introvert you are, you can describe your brand best. And that is, it's on your shoulders to take that brand and tell about it to everybody. And secondly, you might be uncomfortable the first time because you're an introvert and you're walking in a room of 50 people. The second time when you meet the same community, you're a bit more comfortable. You find some faces you recognize from the first event and you might just go and say a hello. By the third time and the fourth time, that's where the communities play a better role, right? So the My Business Network exists throughout the year. It's not a one-off extra meeting, right? You are on the same WhatsApp group interacting every day, but also we meet once or twice a month. So you're physically meeting some of these people, and that's when you'll we've got people who found their friends on the community. And now their social network is all around people they've met through IWD events, social and business, right? Because everybody, especially in Dubai, we have a lot of expats coming in. They leave their friends and family back in India. तो यहाँ पे कोई होता नहीं है. When you land, you post in a group or you come and attend one of my events, social events, business event. You talk to the people sitting next to you on the table. But the next event, you will actually come back with them only and make a plan. Ki, let's go to the next party together. And that's how the networking happens, even if you are an introvert. Find two friendly faces in the room who you can hang on to, and then through them meet the third one, and then you can start making a conversation. But you have to sell yourself and you have to tell your story, because if you don't do it, then your business will not thrive.
Is there any other strategy or magical formula which you are using for an introvert or somebody who's new to the community to really push him? Because ultimately for you and for the community, is very important that everybody engages and helps each other to really grow the community. So is there anything else which is being used as strategies for really good engagement in the community?
See, for engagement, we give back a lot more than we ask for. Yeah. For engaging with your customers, with your clients, with your potential networking communities, don't always look for कि मुझे कितना leads मिलेगा, right? I'm not looking for कि मुझे कितने लोग मिलेंगे. I'm looking for when the members are coming to my community, what are they getting out of it? They're getting information, they're getting value, they're getting socializing out of this, and that might be their need at this time. So we give back a lot more than we ask for. And if you're an introvert entrepreneur, I would say do an elevator pitch. You should have your 2 minutes of speech ready going into any event, telling them what you do, how you do, and how you can help them. And when you go prepared into a networking event or a business event with that, you are ready. You feel prepared for it. So
one thing which I have personally identified as well, I have observed in IWD myself, that a lot of times most of the networking communities are built what is their ethos only, or what they want to achieve, again, which is okay when you are aligning with the vision. But when I see IWD, I've seen that it focuses on the members. So whatever members like, you try to bring that, whether it's a challenge, whether it's a workshop. So I believe that is also a point where everybody is able to connect in some or the other way.
Yes.
I will quote this. I'm not good at movies, but I remember Javed Akhtar. He was mentioning, he was there, I think, again, 5 to 6 years back. He was there in an interview where it was discussion was about Sholay, why it was a jubilee and why it connected so many people. We have lots of movies which have done so much of business, but still Sholay is like the. So he was mentioning something that Sholay was able to connect with every part of the people. So when we speak about Dharmender ji, he was able to connect with people who are really not in that aspect. Amit ji, different aspect. Then Jaya ji. So he was basically saying that the movie was able to connect with every aspect of the society and the community. So I think IWD maybe because of
Very similar, right? Like I said, we do so much. We have such a breadth of options, experiences that you can experience with us. Right from a Diwali party to a Christmas party to a business networking event to a business conclave. We do all of these. Now you would fit into one of these. We do fitness challenges, but we also do foodie meetups. You can fit into one of these. We have a book club which meets.
Well, I didn't knew this. What is foodie meetup?
People will just, we do a potluck every year on Republic Day where people just cook one dish from their home and bring it for the community to share. Yeah. So the foodies of the group, get a chance to show their skills basically, right? And that's where the foodie meetup happens. They just bring a dish of their choice and like people show off. I mean, they really make really good things and, they bring. So that's where it is. You might not be a fitness enthusiast, but you might be a foodie. So you'll sit in that group.
But I think we'll not discuss much on the food because it's IWD. I don't fit there and I will not be able to get anything.
You might be more of a social person. You've decided कि अभी मुझे नहीं करना है. I'm managing my home and family. So you might attend the social events. We have people who come for Diwali parties and Christmas parties and holy events. But then there's an entrepreneur on the side, a lady who's really has the fire and the ambition and wants to build a business is on my women network. So the breadth of options for you to explore IWD and follow your own journey with us is very vast. So I always say pick your area of interest and go with it basically.
Well, I don't want to, as I said, I don't want to discuss on food because Indian women, Dubai, not Indian men, Dubai, I will not get anything out of it. So let's skip it. Now moving on to true business where numbers come in place.
Yes.
When we speak about networking business such as IWD, what are the success metrics, especially related to numbers as well, because we are speaking about numbers. So how do you measure the success for IWD in numbers or if there is any other sense as well?
For us, we track metrics across every platform. The two metrics which are very important are reach and engagement. So how many reach, for example, is how many members I have on the Facebook group, and engagement is how many posts we did. And I quoted both of them in this interview because we track them every week. On every Monday morning, there is a roll call of all the websites. And it's not only Facebook. We have Instagram today. We have WhatsApp today. We have a LinkedIn platform today. Everywhere that you can see us, we will measure the reach. That is how many members or followers you are having and how much engagement we got on the reach. We also analyze what did well. So, for example, we create content, right? So we will analyze which reels did the very best and or which event had the maximum attendance and try and repeat the success formula.
Okay, so this is one of the metrics in which you are able to track in your content strategies, your posting strategies. What about in terms of business numbers? Are you focusing going to a certain revenue, certain profitability, certain team size? Do you have that plan as well? Or
so I've only started doing that recently when the business community started and we started generating, sustainable, repeatable revenue basically. But we do have goals in terms of we earn income through brand collaborations and then the business network basically, right? So we do have our own goals in terms of monthly goals, weekly goals that we want to, and the tracking happens every month.
Okay. So this is about IWD because again, it is for the women, by the women. What about the satisfaction in terms of, again, the numbers for the women's, that how do you help them really achieve the business goals, or if there is any other goals, how do you have matrix for that as well?
So we run NPS, right? You would heard. So usually after all the big events, we would run an NPS survey and see how much they enjoyed attending the event. Would they come again if we attend an event? What else would they like to see? So we do run regular. We're doing actually now we speak of it. This week we are kicking off a campaign to get feedback on whatever we've done through the year, and that is basically a reset program of seeing okay, this is the events people liked. So we'll do more of that in 2025, and this is the event people.
So you take in members' feedback in terms of
We do regular surveys from all our members to get feedback on what we could be.
So do you have some tech-enabled things as well where you take account of these surveys to create the next platform or next event much better?
Tech enabled, I use whatever is free right now available. So Google Forms and Zoho ka basic setup is what we have for now. Basically, we don't want to overcomplicate it because we are anyways deeply entrenched in all the social media platforms. So we focus on that.
Now, my next question is more of related to this thing as well, that I have also done a survey where a lot of people want to know this. And this question is coming from all the people who really want to know this.
Okay.
So IWD is inspiration for many women in Dubai, or most of the women in Dubai. What is the inspiration for the founder of IWD in terms of community building? Who is your inspiration? Is it a company? Is it an individual? And whom do you follow?
See, I don't know of many communities similar to ours, okay, who are doing the impact and the rate at which we are doing. But I do look up to strong, ambitious women who've crossed borders outside of India and have broken barriers across on international boundaries. So I will give you an example of Indra Nui. For me, when I used to grow up, right, I'm an IIM graduate, she's also IIM Calcutta. मेरे IIM का interview का जवाब भी यही था, I want to join IIM because I want to be like Indra Nui, right? I did not know, but I've read, I've studied her work, I've seen her impact that she's crossed from India to the US and created an empire. At that time, when women, it was not many women could do that, right? I still look up to Priyanka Chopra, right? People might like or hate her, but she has also crossed borders and built a space for her in the US, right? So these are all brown girls by back, but they've been bold and ambitious. And I think for me, they are an inspiration. They have their own areas they've charted. IWD is also my own area and my own stream that I've charted. We'll go with the flow and we'll enjoy the journey. But I think I don't want to regret later on that I didn't try it. So I just want to try it.
So thank you for sharing your inspiration. When I have a lot of inspiration. Most of the time it's founders of the company.
Yes.
That's how I've been. I always try to learn some or the other thing from these founders. When we speak about women who have really crossed the borders and made the space, it's really difficult because
not too many, right?
Not too many, and changing the state is different, but changing the country is really difficult. And of course, you mentioned Priyanka Chopra. I have been following as well that you were successful in India, that's true. But when she went to US, it was a new start for her. And still, she made her way. And that's really remarkable. When we speak about Indra Nooyi, we learn a lot. But I want to know, when it comes to not just community building, as an IM, which you mentioned as well, what do you take from Indra Nooyi or any other person which is your inspiration, that this is how you need to take your life further, or your community or your business further?
So
specifically maybe Indra Nooyi.
Yeah, so Indra Nooyi has a lot of talks, right? I remember one of them where she got promoted to be the CEO of the company. She comes back home and her mom says, I don't care what you did at work. You would have heard it, right?
Yes,
that is something I remember so much, basically. And she said, you go and get the milk because there's no milk at home. And that reminds you that women are always trying to multitask, yeah. No matter if I'm the CEO of a company, when I go back home, my kids will come and hug me and I'm going to try and put them to bed. And I'm still responsible for what happens in the kitchen. Yeah. And you accept it. And because I've accepted it, you grow with it and you find your rhythm around it. So you can't deny that, I'm an ambitious woman and I'm not going to take care of my family. And I think Indian values by default, women tend to take care of the families. We are the primary caretakers at home. Okay. So you accept it, find your support system around it, and then go out of the house. The second thing which I remember from her is she very boldly said in an interview that women cannot have it all. And I think I agree with that. Women cannot have it all, but they can prioritize every day of what you can do. You can decide every morning whether I'm going to work or going to a coffee morning for my kids' school. So she used to tell those stories, right? Every day you're choosing which of the two things am I doing and prioritizing every day. And I think I do that in my personal life. Do I need to be home today or do I need to go to this podcast?
How do you prioritize that? Work versus family?
It depends what's important. If it's my child's performance in school, I am going to say no to your show, and I'm going to actually say no to all my clients and say I need to be at school because it's once in a year performance. I don't drop my kids to school every day. The nanny and the driver can do that, right? So you're choosing every day, choosing your battles every day. Where do you are going to spend your time on?
Well, I have also watched almost all the interviews of Indra Nooyi as everyone else. I have seen this as well, and I think she mentioned one more thing in that interview where she was saying that her mother told her, "Don't bring your CEO crown to my
Yes,
house."
exactly.
So I remember that fact as well. I remember her story. She was telling when she was promoted as corporate head for Pepsi, and she had an office, but she told the organization that I want to bring my kids to that office.
Yes.
And her kids were there in office with her, and she was head of corporate strategy. She was working, but kids were there, focusing that. Even when we started, and we started in a co-working space, Dangad consultancy.
Yeah.
When we started, even we had a small office, and our CEO Jyoti, as I mentioned, we didn't have enough space to put the cot of our baby.
Right.
So we took a different space in our in that co-working space just to put that cot. Jyoti was working from. So I always remember that as well. But priorities were like, we want baby to be together, but we are not leaving the office as well.
Yes.
And that's how we brought both the things together.
I mean, that's a great example, right? So I think women have to make it work. You find your support system around it, right? So for example, another thing I'll say is like I am generally out during the day with my clients doing shoots, doing interviews, doing events. But I have a hard cut at 6:30. And if you call me after 6:30, you won't find me on most weekdays because by 7, I want to get home and I want to put my kids to bed. And I only get one night out a week, which has been agreed with my kids basically. And if I do the second one, they will call me on the phone and they'll tell me you are out for second time in the week, basically. So I think that's how you set your own boundaries within your family and work of what works for you, and it's a very personal angle to it, right? So you have to decide your personal boundaries.
I will mention again Indra Nooyi, all again fascinating and inspiration. She mentioned something about the biological clock, which I mentioned in the podcast before as well, that women's biological clock is against her. And then she mentions why it is very important for the society to have more babysitters and caretakers so that women can focus. We as Dangad tried that in DBC, in Dangad Business Center. We have a kids room as well where we tried again the same thing. What is your thought process about it? And how do you connect that with your networking business as well? Because in the networking also, actually you are giving out time.
Yes.
So how do you balance that, and how do you envision that about babysitters having more that? And do you feel that women should really feel guilty about giving their kids to a babysitter?
Okay. So so I think I would say women are multitaskers, but there should be no shame in asking for help. And that's where the babysitters and the nannies at home, or hiring cooks for your work, or getting a cleaner in to just help you with the household chores. I use all the help I can get. If you can afford it, I think you should use it. It's a privilege. I feel my skills are better used in a business, in a job, or in running my own company, in my own business right now. Why would you waste your skills doing something which somebody else can help you with? I still feel nobody can replace a mother, so you need to play that role at home. You still need to be there with your kids, but somebody can make the food and you can have dinner together. So I believe in creating experiences. We travel a lot. Like as a family, we tend to travel a lot, and both me and my husband both enjoy it. But when we are there, we are together as a family, and that's quality time spent. But I don't need to do the other tasks if some of that can be outsourced.
Well, thank you so much for mentioning that as well. Now it's time for summary up for all those who want to start networking business, social community, business community, and really monetizing it to make a business which is scalable, and you are scaling that. So what we learned together, first of all, thank you so much for mentioning about your journey, that how from I am Bangalore you went on to London and joined Bain and Company. You joined in India, but then you continued in London. After that you moved to Dubai, and you are a COVID baby just like many others, and including Dangad, which were born out of necessity to really create value. You created in the social community first, we created in the business community, and then we discussed about what is the vision of starting a business community, which has to be very clear what exactly you want to do with the community and what members aspect expect out of it. Then we discuss what are the pillars of a community, which in the first sense is that the first thing which you have to create after the vision is a rule book. And that is, I believe, is the most important thing we discussed today, because if you don't get by the rule books, you are going to dilute the values and the core functionality of your company or your community. So the rule book has to be clear. We discuss few points. You can add more onto that and create a rule book, and that has to be followed. Then you mentioned about creating a Facebook or any other platform where you can really answer on a day-to-day basis about the community members, not like any other community where you meet once in a week or 10 days or anyone else. You are really on there answering every point of every woman out there, led by women, answered by women. 2000 posts a day, 50 moderators are fascinating and really unbelievable what you're doing. So that is what we focus on. Then about core values, that why social community is run by the rules that you need to help the woman and woman helps you. Then you have a different baby, which is IWD network, which is corely focusing on the business aspect. So you have to really separate again the core values so you don't deviate. Then moving on, we discussed about the exclusivity and the inclusivity. If the rule book is not followed, you need to take decisions to move the members out of the community. Sometimes we don't take that decisions in the business as well, that who's the right member and who's not, who's the right candidate, who's not. So you need to take that decision. Then we moved on to discussing about the encouragement of introverts, or I would say people who are not that social comfort. They need to come on the community, making sure what is the ethos of the community and follow that, and then slowly build that connections. And then how you have diversified your community, that is as per the members, you really create that challenges, workshops, and entertainment as well. If he's a foodie, you are having foodie. If he's a fitness freak, so you connect, you build friends, you make friends, and you chill out together. That's how you create engagement. Then we focus about who is IWD founders inspiration, because that's how you get drive your business every day. So that is Indra Nui and Priyanka Chopra you mentioned. I would focus Indra Nui, that how as a corporate you really focus on community building. What are the key learnings which we can take from Indra Nui and how you take that in your day-to-day journey. And then we discussed about that how really you can, as a woman, which is not just related to business, but how you use your daily jobs to create more time for you. No shame in taking help from others in your personal space, and then really becoming woman entrepreneur. So I hope I have covered all, and we have covered. If we have missed any point, you can share that. Otherwise, it's really good what we have discussed today.
It sounds like a great summary. I've got nothing to add.
Thank you so much, Reema, for coming here, taking out time, and really giving out again one more effort from your side to giving out to the community. But this time, not just to the women's, but to the men's as well. Looking forward, maybe you can accommodate at least the husbands.
So we do family events, and all the husbands are very welcome.
So looking forward to join you there.
Super.
With many other men's.
Please.
This question was on behalf of everyone. How is there?
True. And we are a women community, but we need support of all the men. We can't do it alone. We don't propagate that us women entrepreneur or strong, stable women. We want to run with the community. So men are equally supporters for us, and we need all our supporters to be with us.
So thank you so much, Reema. It was really a great talk and a session with you.
Thank you.